Hello everyone, this is Ariel Taib. In this video I'm going to show you a game that was played between Magnus Carlsen and Ian Nepomniachtchi. Actually, the World Chess Championship is coming up within like few weeks, so I decided to show one of their games before the World Chess Championship. This is a game from 2017 from the London Classical tournament. Actually, it's like the 8th or the 9th round. And Carlsen had like a very bad score in this tournament. I mean, he like lost or drew a few games, so he kind of felt he needed to win this game against Nepo in order to win the tournament. Actually, even if he won the game against Nepo, it's still not sure if he could win the tournament. Never mind. In this game, Carlsen had the white pieces and he started with d4. And by the way, I forgot to mention, when the World Chess Championship at the end of November will come, I'm planning to record all of the videos from the World Chess Championship. I mean, from Sunday to Thursday, I'm planning to shoot a video every day about the games, and just all the 12 games, and if there will be like a time break, active. Even if they plan to go for the Blitz or the Armageddon, so I'm also planning to show that as well. Never mind, I was kind of mistaken. It was not d4. Carlsen had the white pieces and he started with knight f3, c5, c3, d5, d4, trading in the center, and we have the Slav Defence exchange variation. I know we started with knight f3, which is kind of a ratty opening, but if you can see, if we go d4, d5, c4, c6, exchanging, and knight f3, this is the Slav exchange. This is the exact same variation. So it's just a different move order. Knight f3, c5, c3, d5, the exact same position. So knight c6, knight c3, knight f6, bishop f4. And in this position, Carlsen like played bishop f4, he wanted to play e3 and develop, but Nepo played knight h5, attacking the bishop. Bishop to d2, and then Nepo retreated, knight to f6. And this is kind of a psychological game, because again, Carlsen can comfortably go back to f4, but then just knight h5, and it's a free-fold repetition. So, and Nepo knew that Carlsen needed to win this game in order to gain a prize or to be at the top of the tournament. And he knew Carlsen is not interested in a draw. Actually, maybe Nepo wasn't interested in a draw. He just played knight h5, bishop d2, knight f6, and in his mind it's like, well, if Carlsen repeat knight f4, bishop f4, then I can go bishop f5, bishop g4, e6, or g6, or a6. Just he just tested Carlsen. But after bishop f4, knight h5, bishop d2, knight f6, Carlsen played e3, and now the bishop is blocked. So e6, bishop to d3, bishop d6, e4, d takes e4, knight takes e4, attacking the bishop. Bishop goes back to e7, and now you can see Carlsen has an isolated pawn on d4. So castling by both sides. Queen to c2. There is an attack on the h7 pawn. Just for example, if black goes knight to b4, attacking the queen, then simply bishop takes, and knight takes on f6 check, followed by bishop takes on h7, and white won a pawn. So queen c2, there is a direct threat, sort of an indirect threat on h7. So h6 by Nepo, rook to d1. Nepo knows, Carlsen knows that knight b4 is not a threat just yet, because if knight to b4, we can simply take on f6, and as you can see, the bishop can't take, because if the bishop takes, the knight will fall. So g takes on f6 is pretty much forced, and then simply queen b3, knight takes, queen takes, and black kingside pawn structure has been shattered, and the king is also a little bit exposed. So Nepo didn't play knight b4, he played bishop d7, planning to bring the rook into the open c file. Oh, and actually on knight takes d4, which we didn't cover just yet. So knight takes d4, there is knight takes d4, queen takes d4, and then bishop to c3, attacking the queen. Queen has to go back to b6, and then knight takes, bishop takes, g takes, and as you can see once again, although black is up a pawn, but his kingside pawn structure is a little bit weak, and Carlsen was playing for a win in fact, so he was ready to sacrifice a pawn in order to attack Black's king. So Nepo wasn't interested in that. He just played bishop to d7, a3 to prevent knight b4, rook to c8, putting the rook in the same file as white's queen, knight to c3, a6, preventing knight to b5, and also preparing b5 himself. Queen to c1, rook to e8. As you can see, Nepo is not rushing, he's kind of waiting. He's playing a very slow game because he knows that Carlsen will try to play for a win eventually, because he needs to win in order to gain like an important place in this tournament. So rook to e1, bishop to f8, bishop f4, and b5 preparing b4. Queen to d2, b4, 8x b4, knight x b4, and knight to e5. Carlsen tried to bring the rook into the game. So knight takes d3, queen takes d3, attacking the pawn on a6, a5, queen to f3, preparing g4, g5, bishop to b4, rook to e3, bringing the rook, trying to create some kind of pressure maybe in the future, but just bishop takes on c3. As you can see, because Carlsen is the side who is going to attack, so Nepo is trying to reduce the number of pieces. He's trying to exchange pieces. Bishop takes c3, and Carlsen took with the pawn, because if rook takes, then simply rook takes, b takes, and we are just trading pieces. It's not good for Carlsen, because then he won't have enough pieces to attack. So after bishop takes, Carlsen took with the b pawn, bishop to a4 attacking the rook, rook e1, and bishop to c2. Carlsen tries, Nepo tries to bring the bishop back into the defense. h3, a multi-purpose move. White is trying to play g4 with the support of the h3 pawn, but also is making sure that once Black will bring one of his rooks or his queen into the back rank, then White has a lift on the h2 square. So bishop to f5, and this is a very provocative move by Nepo. He's playing bishop f5. He knows that Carlsen is interested in playing g4, and he provoked him to do that, and only then go bishop to h7, because Nepo believes that this attack is too slow by White, and his king will also be open. So he's trying to provoke White to push his pawns forward. Although when I check this position in the engine actually likes this position for White after g5, h takes, bishop takes. But still, I'm not sure that this position is like winning. It's like maybe a little plus for White, but it's still very difficult to see how White can win this. Never mind, in the game Carlsen didn't play g5, he played c4, trying to use his passed pawn. So knight to d7 offering trades. And now I'm going to show you the game, but I just want you to know that I think the entire game, like the entire thing we're going to see now, Carlsen calculated from this point. And I believe this is the reason why Carlsen messed up, because he tried to calculate so much ahead. He played knight to c6 attacking the queen, queen to d4, queen to f6 attacking the pawn on d4. The pawn on d4 is defended at the moment, but after knight takes a5, like the pawn on d4 is untouchable because of rook d1 attacking the knight, queen to a7, and knight to b7. As you can see, I have highlighted by the arrows. And the knight is planning to go to d6, attack the rook on c8 and the rook on e8, fork actually, and also like create a discover attack on the f7 pawn, because the knight can take on f7 in some lines, and then the queen is also on the f file, so there can be some problems. But in the game, Nepo didn't take the pawn on d4, he played knight b6, and I think Carlsen calculated everything from the moment he put his knight on c6, because now he played c5, which seems kind of weird, because the pawn can be taken. There is a pin on this diagonal, on the h1a1 diagonal, h8a1 diagonal, and Carlsen went for this, and he took the rook, and after check, king to h2, Carlsen took the rook on c5, check, king h2, he took the knight, Nepo took the knight on a5, and in this position the best line for White is just to take the knight, queen takes, and as you can see, Black is up a pawn. Black will play like f6, e5, but we have an opposite color bishop, so I'm not sure that Black can push this position for a win. He can try, but I'm not sure this position is winning. Never mind, in the game, Carlsen played in this position on horrific blunder. He played queen to c6. He thought that he's forking the rook on e8 and the knight on b6, and he wanted to take the knight on b6 without losing the c pawn, the b pawn. But in this position, Nepo found the winning move. And again, I didn't ask the players, I don't know them personally, so I'm not sure from which position they calculated what they've calculated. But I suggest you to pause the video and try to find out how can black win in this position. So pause the video and find out. Okay, in this position, Nepo played well. Just before I show you, don't forget to drop a like to this video, leave a thumbs up, this is really helping me to grow this channel. In this position, Nepo played queen to a4, and Carlsen could already throw in the towel. I mean, the queen on c6 is hanging, the queen on a4 defends the rook on e8, and if queen takes b6, then the bishop on f4 is lost with check, and white is simply down a piece. But instead, Carlsen took on a4, knight takes a4, and white is down a piece. The pawn on c5 is under attack, so c6, the knight calmly goes back to b6, c7, f6, rook to b3, attacking the knight, but after knight to c8, Carlsen simply resigned because of the threat of e5, blunting the bishop's diagonal and simply bringing the king back. Not back, but bringing it to d7 and winning the c7 pawn, and Carlsen will just be down a piece and down a pawn, and he had enough for this game, and he simply resigned. Yeah, this is a very incredible game by Nepo. He won this game. But don't forget, I mean, this is not the only game I'm going to show by Carlsen and Nepo, and the World Championship match will happen in like the 24th or the 25th of November. And this year, 2021, I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but I'm planning to show all of their videos, all of the 12 games, all the time breaks, if there will be time breaks, and all the matches. Actually, I have a YouTube channel in Hebrew and also in French, which I'm planning to show all of the games in those channels as well. Never mind, if you like those videos and you want to see the entire World Chess Championship match, then please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. That way I can notify you whenever I upload a new video, and whenever I upload a new video about the World Chess Championship match. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.